Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. There has been very little news from the world of motorsport in 2024. A lot of non-stories have finally and completely run their course, like the allegations against Christian Horner. Most of the seats in Formula 1 are filled for next year, and we have a good idea of who's going to be taking the last few seats. Outside of Formula 1, no new manufacturers are appearing anywhere. Not a lot of rumours for the British touring cars in 2025. Aston Martin will be appearing at Le Mans, but most of the changes in the WRC are just increasing numbers for the current hypercar teams. It makes it very difficult to run any kind of motorsport news organisation or, say, a YouTube channel. Such meagre pickings, the vultures are going to be hungry. So, in the absence of any real news of any kind, let's look at how the WRC is shaping up for 2025. No new manufacturers on the horizon, but what will be the starting lineup at Monte Carlo in 2025. If you do have any news or rumours, or just like to start lies about people, let me know in the comments. Meanwhile, let's take a look at who'll be driving in the WRC next year. Toyota have announced one driver for 2025 already, and that is of course double champion Kalle Rovanperä. Coming back from the world of part-timers to a full-time drive once again will send shivers down the spine of the rest of the WRC. Presuming Toyota carry on with two full-time drivers, I can't see why they wouldn't keep Elfyn Evans. He's definitely not a world beater, but he is competent, he scores points, and has been incredibly useful backup to the likes of Ogier and Rovanperä, and helping Toyota to numerous teams titles. I don't see a lot else changing. Takuma Katsuta has been the project for the last few years, and 2024 has been very disappointing. Maybe he'll end up sharing a drive next year with Sami Pajari. Another Toyota seemed desperate to promote. He did well in Finland, a great 4th place, but we need to remember it was his home rally and hardly anyone else finished. Toyota Gazoo have strong Japanese connections obviously, but they also have strong Finnish connections, so Pajari and Katsuta sharing seems to make sense to me. Sebastien Ogier will probably continue on as a part-timer, whether or not he wins the 2024 championship. I don't think he has any desire to return full-time, especially as he's having plenty of success as it is. If they find someone else to share the drive with him, then maybe they'll go for another Finn like Esa-Pekka Lappi, who I think might lose the Hyundai drive. They may just decide not to bother and let Ogier turn up in a 4th car whenever he wants, and leave it unentered everywhere else. Otherwise, no big changes at Toyota. Hyundai seemingly have the easiest task. Ott Tanak has already signed on for another year, even if 2024 has not been his best campaign. Surely Thierry Neuville, who has been racing 11 years for the Korean brand, that's over 130 rallies and 20 wins for Hyundai, he doesn't seem very happy right now. Maybe it's just the pressure of taking his first title after finishing second 5 times. Maybe it's all the road sweeping, hampering his performances, but he doesn't seem to be fully into it right now. And maybe he'll take some time and move back to part-time. That would leave the door open for someone else, and I think Hyundai will go for reformed French star Adrien Formal. A few years ago, he was a crash-happy rookie who seemingly had no hope of returning to the top level. In 2024, he is one of the biggest breakout stars of the year. Still in championship contention with only a few rounds left, and despite no win, has really impressed on every level. Neuville, I'll put in as a part-timer, and sharing that won't be Danny Sordo, who has said he's walking away. I know he said that before, but I think he actually is this time. We've seen less of him in 2024, and he's been less competitive. I don't think Esa-Pekka Lappi will return either. Yes, he won in Sweden, but he's made mistakes everywhere else. Sometimes more than one. I think Oliver Solberg will return to share the drive with Thierry Neuville. He was a Hyundai driver before, and whilst he had a bad time a couple of years ago, he's gone and reinvented himself in WRC2 and is leading the championship in 2024. But where does that leave double WRC2 champion Andreas Mikkelsen? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe he'll pick up the odd drive if they share it 3 ways again, but surely Hyundai would let Neuville do any rally he wants, and then just give the rest to Solberg to give him as much time in the car as possible. Maybe they could run an extra car for Mikkelsen at selected rounds. That would probably depend on what kind of budget he could bring to the table to pay for it. Whatever happens, it's unlikely Mikkelsen gets the top level drive he deserves, and most likely will slink back to WRC2 with TalkSport Skoda. He has won just about everything in rallying except the WRC title. WRC2 twice, the IRC, ERC, he's taken 3 wins in the WRC, he's even finished 3rd in the WRC Championship 3 years in a row back in the Volkswagen days. He deserves a real chance at the top level, and there just isn't the space to fit him in anywhere in this small field of WRC entries. Finally, we have Mport Ford, and the semi-factory team, as always, are the hardest to pick a driver lineup for, as it is heavily budget dependent. They can't compete with Toyota and Hyundai, they don't have the funds. Gregoire Munster's had a rough year, he has the budget for another year, and 2024 can be written off as a learning year, but on the face of it, he has a level. Adrian Formal surprised us, so maybe Munster can as well. I guess he could have a second year, but the other driver surely goes to whoever can afford it. If Eza-Pekka Lappi or Andreas Mikkelsen can't get a drive anywhere else, maybe they'll take the Ford seat as the only option left on the table. Maybe they won't. Oliver Solberg is off the table, as is anyone backed by Monster Energy drinks. Ford have Red Bull as a sponsor, and I doubt that would gel. So we'll say Gregoire Munster almost certainly, and for the second drive, maybe a return for Gus Greenspiff. Make the Formal Lightning strike twice. Martin Sesks would be the popular choice. He was incredible in his 2 Rally 1 appearances in the Ford, but again it's a question of budget. He would need sponsors, or Ford would need to tighten strings to afford to give him a full year. I would love to help crowdfund for this guy to get a drive, but as a long-term solution that isn't really going to work, unless he turns up and wins and sponsors start throwing money on him. God, I'd love Ford to bring Seski back. With M-Sport, it's impossible to know, so we'll be conservative and say Gregoire Munster and Gus Greensmith in the main cars, and the third car will be shared at several events by several drivers. Martin Sesks, Eza-Pekka Lappi, Andreas Mikkelsen, Jordan Serdaridis, and maybe a debut for young Irish star Josh McCurlin. So that is my prediction for competitors of WRC in 2025. Not a massive shake-up, all the big names will still be here next year. It still shows a massive problem for the WRC. Not enough cars for all the talent available. So many good drivers just can't get a full-time drive because there aren't enough spaces. And because of that, rallies are disappointing because there aren't enough entries. Oliver Solberg has finished 5th twice in 2024 in a WRC 2 car. That is not the sign of a strong competitive field in Rally 1. In a dream world, more manufacturers would suddenly appear to compete and give a few more seats. But that just doesn't seem likely, not for another few years at least. The WRC organisers tried to make some changes to try and encourage new manufacturer support, but the current teams threw a hissy fit and Hyundai even threatened to leave. The outcome was parity until 2027, so nothing is going to change. The solution for me is cost cutting, and the best thing for that would be to end Rally 1 and make WRC 2 the top level. Skoda and Citroën would be added to the manufacturer pool, and Ford, Hyundai and Toyota already have WRC 2 teams, so it's not a big jump for them. Independent teams are more easily able to be competitive. There's even been rumours the Stellantis group are going to enter Lancia in the WRC 2. Most likely, it'll be at a lower level of the sport. There are rumblings of Renault and Vauxhall developing cars, but again, possibly at the Rally 4 level. So with nothing going to change, it leaves a lot of talent on the sidelines. It's annoying old hands are taking up space as part-time drivers. As I've said multiple times, it really devalues the championship. And there are other names mentioned who are great drivers who'll never get a chance, like Johan Rossell, Kajetan Kajetanovic, Rupe Korhonen, and others. It's a great shame, and the fans are the ones who suffer most. Anyway, that is a look at the potential field of drivers in the WRC for 2025. What do you think? Who do you see going where? Are you disappointed with what the WRC can offer rally to rally? What is the solution? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be back with more motorsport content, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.